Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel, and today's Saturday special. Welcome back to Quartzlight, and Quartzlight, if you don't know, are a very small car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures 3 times a week. Bit of a trip down memory lane. This is the Saturday special, incidentally, a very short sort of recap of what we've looked at in the week so far. If that sounds like that would interest you, please consider subscribing. Here in Canada at the moment, very snowy. I'll pop a little bit of a pickup in the corner there. I don't know, guess somewhere up here somewhere. So we might as well be inside looking at car brochures. Anyway, let's look at the car brochures that we looked at this week. Okay, so these are the brochures we looked at. First of all, on Monday, we looked at these load carriers, as it says here, the Austin Morris van and pickup, the Morris Marina based van and pickup. Very rare now to see one in any sort of condition, never mind these perfect examples. The favourite picture on this brochure is the front cover, actually, so you see my favourite picture straight there. And I'm glad a lot of people like these sorts of brochures. They're a little bit different, aren't they? And I didn't know how people would react to looking at commercial vehicles, but there seems to be certainly an audience for them, which is really nice. And then on Wednesday we had another commercial vehicle. Unusual to get so many commercial vehicles in a week here on Quartzlight, but here we go, the Bedford CF. Strangely, the favourite picture on this particular brochure is actually the front cover again. My dad did work for British Gas, so that's kind of like a very memorable livery right there. And then finally, we looked at this all-range brochure, February 1988, for the Mark II Ford Fiesta. So there you go, lots of memories with the Ford Fiesta. Really, they were everywhere in the 80s, weren't they? Like the Escort, they were just, street furniture that all seems to have disappeared. Lots of memories though, a lot of people's first car, and of course that very memorable XR2, a real 80s car. Really reminds me of the 80s, the XRs, XR2s, XR3s, etc, etc. Interestingly, one thing I didn't show you yesterday on that particular episode is this sort of range guide, which kind of like shows you the prices and how they overlap different models. So let's just have a quick zoom in on that page. So it kind of like shows you at the top, this is your prices ranging from £4,000 to £11,000 and beyond. But it's interesting to see how a lot of the Fiesta models kind of like overlapped the prices of the Escort model. I think it's quite an interesting little graph there. So anything beyond kind of like here, you kind of like choosing a Fiesta in that range because you want a Fiesta, when in reality you could have afforded to buy an Escort. Obviously the most expensive vehicle is the XR2, and equivalently you could have got an Escort, I don't know, GL Escort, so you really wanted that XR2. But yeah, you can imagine it with an XR2, but you can even look at things like this Fiesta L. A very lowly car. You don't think anything special about a Fiesta L, but if you've got a 1.4 Fiesta L, it's still overlapping these 1.3 Populars, and so you could get an Escort Popular for the same price. So you really wanted a Fiesta, didn't you, if you was going to get anything over that? And that's kind of like surprises me how much of an overlap the Fiesta and Escort had. I guess the other thing that really stands out is what a big leap in price at the bottom here. The most expensive in this particular box, this Escort XR3 Cabriolet. You really did jump up in price to get that XR3i Cabriolet. I guess the most memorable and probably my favourite in this particular time is the XR2 Fiesta with these alloy wheels. Although remembering that the alloy wheels were an optional extra, which in my mind was never the case, but obviously it was. Most people obviously expect to have the alloy wheels, but you have to pay more for that. Standard, you would just get a steel wheel with a cover over it. I think the other thing I forget is kind of like how plain the interiors were, but you know, Ford were very good at making these sporty models really stand out, didn't they? Okay, and like I said at the start, this is just a very short Quartz Light episode. I don't want to really say too much more, but looking ahead to next week, on Monday, we're going to be looking at the Yugo Sana. Very rare car today. When was the last time you saw a Yugo Sana? Wednesday, we're going to be looking at the little freewheeled Ape vans. And then on Friday, for Ford Fridays, we're going to be looking at the Ford Escort Mark IV. You know, another standout car, the XR3i and XR3i Cabriolet, will be shown in that brochure, as well as that very lowly Escort Popular. But for now, we'll say thank you so much for watching Quartz Lights. Looking forward to the week ahead and looking forward to your comments. So see you very soon. Have a great weekend. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't done already. Take care and goodbye.